This is Gary Chambers with the Rouge Collection. I'm here with Will Bates at the Master's Touch, one of the owners in the partnership. How you doing today, Will?
Doing good, Gary. Doing good.
Good. Well, you know, we see you freshly dressed in the Master's Touch. Tell us how you got started.
Well, actually, we got started. My wife had a sort of an epiphany when she heard from the Lord, and the Lord told her that we could sell men's clothing. And when she told me, immediately I felt a peace. I felt that what she heard was correct. And without training, without money, we jumped right in. And that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So how's the business been for you?
Business has been good. With any business, you have your ups, your downs, you have your highs, your lows, but it's what you do when you're high that sets you up for your low. And so because my wife and I, along with our partners Russell Roberts and Tynette, we're good with money. And so because we're savers, we started putting money up. And when the rough times came, we had something to draw out of that allowed us to stay afloat. Now that doesn't mean that we didn't have the feeling like, are we really doing the right thing? You really heard from the Lord? But it has panned and shown itself to be true, and God has shown himself to be faithful.
Wonderful. So tell me, what is the experience when someone comes to the Master's Touch?
Well, we want them to have a one-in-a-lifetime experience. It's our job to help a man select the proper fit, proper style, and proper look that he needs for the environment that he lives in, works in, and plays in. And we decide to become his image consultants, where we enhance his image. We add to it. We look at him, we see what he likes, we see what he wears, and then we begin to put our hands on him and begin to really shape him and continue to just add to the things that he already likes. We have a tailor who's been in the tailoring business for over 40-something years, and when we bring Mr. Riley out, it's truly touched by the master. Truly.
That's a wonderful. So tell me, what do you find in 5 years of experience? What has been a common misconception about men in fashion?
Well, the biggest misconception is that men, for the most part, don't know how to dress themselves. My clients are a little bit older, and they're like, some of them like to match what their wives are wearing, and sometimes the wife is picking out what they want to wear. And so sometimes men have this thing, well, I don't know colors and I don't know schemes and I don't know how to put this together. But once we show them, it's all over, because now he realizes that he's always been equipped to put the right shirt with the right tie, but he's just been handicapped. So when he comes here, we take the chains off, we take the limits off and let him do what he needs to do. And when he leaves here, trust me, he's thoroughly satisfied.
Well, you know, all of my gear happens to come from the Master's Touch, and y'all take care of me. And I'm a young cat, so to young guys who don't really want to do the whole suit and tie thing, what advice would you give them when they are preparing to think about coming to see you?
Well, what we do, even with them, because we believe that every man needs at least one or two suits. Period. He has to go to a funeral. He has to go to a wedding. He has to go to something that's relatable to business, whether it be an interview, whether it's going to seek out a new job or something like that. So we're always trying to tell even young people about the importance of having a great image and how you project that image. Because if all the young people say, well, I just want to be in jeans, I want to be in a t-shirt, or I just want to do a blazer and some jeans and some loafers, well, when it's time to go for the job interview, what gives that other kid that comes in with a suit, with a nice haircut, he's well groomed, it tells the person that's hiring him, hey, there's something unique about this kid here. And so we try to get it down to the core essentials for a younger person to understand, because we're living in a generation now where we're talking about a lot of young men have not had dad at home to have that image or that visual that they would see about putting on the suit and, you know, the tie. Gone are the days where granddad was at home and he showed us how to tie the bow tie and things like that. So a lot of young men are having to get it as they go. And so what we try to do is to just try to show them that, hey, you can wear a suit. Now we'll show you, because they only tell me, Gary, I don't want to look like the preacher. So we say, we're not gonna make you look like the preacher. We're gonna put you in a suit that's modern, that's contemporary, yet classic, and still fashionable. You're still gonna look young.
That's a lot in one.
But you're gonna be clean.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be clean, and you're gonna be right. And trust me, you're gonna like the way you look.
Okay, so as a business owner and being in the game 5 years, I know a lot of people are really trying to get off the ground and get started. What advice would you give to some young people trying to get a business rolling? Not just young, older people are starting businesses as well.
First, pray.
Okay.
First, pray, and ensure that this is what God wants you to do, whatever that business is. I tell people, just because you have an idea doesn't mean that idea is going to turn into a business. A lot of people get into business strictly driven by the dollar, and they don't get in business to think about creating jobs for their constituents, for their communities. And that's what businesses are to do. They are to stimulate the economy by stimulating jobs, putting people to work. And that's what young entrepreneurs do, young, old, or indifferent. That's what they do. We help to create jobs. We help to stimulate the economy. And so if they're going to get in business, one, they need to pray. Second, they need to plan. Thirdly, they need resources. And that's the crippler for most businesses. They don't have the resources. They don't have access to money in bank accounts, or their credit is shot. So they can't get the loans that they need because their credit is shot. And so good financial stewardship says, if you think about getting a business, start to do the right things now. Start to put yourself in a position as to where you can start building up capital on the side. Because at the end of the day, you are the business. If the bank is coming, they're looking at you. They're looking at your personal credit history. And so we try to instruct people to clean up their credit history and to put themselves in a position to where now they can go to the bank or to the loan company, and they can get the money that they need because they've taken care of those smaller things. Like with us, we had great credit, and that's what allowed us to receive some of the loans that we received, because we had great personal credit. And so we had to use personal to generate the business. But now the business has its own line of credit. The business has its own Dun & Bradstreet number. The business has monies that's in the business and not in our name, which is a great thing.
Wow, that's a whole lot balled into one. I've seen a lot of folks come through here, and they come in one way and they walk out clean, they walk out happy. What do you think is the key to making sure that your customers are satisfied every time they come?
Well, what we try to do is to always put ourselves in the mind of the consumer, because once we leave out of this store, we're consumers. And however it is that we like to be treated when we go somewhere else, we try to make sure that we are giving that same treatment to our clients, just the way we want to be treated. And so we realize that men like to buy in bulk. So we become kind of like, if I could say it like this, we're like the Sam's Club of the men's industry.
Okay.
Where if you buy in bulk, you get more. Like right now, for instance, we have a buy one, get 7 items free. So they can buy one suit at regular price, get an additional suit, plus 2 shirts, 2 ties, and 2 pair of cufflinks. He loves it. His wife loves it, because he goes home and he's paid some money, but he says, baby, look, I have all of this for this amount of money right here. And he feels good, his wife feels good, and his wife says, baby, you know what, you did such a great job, go get you some more. So we make him happy,
right.
We make his wife happy, and we ensure to him that what he's purchased is not something that's just for now, but it's also something for later.
We have a signature question that we ask in every interview. If you could make one statement to every single person in the world, what would it be and why?
If I could make one statement, I would tell people, business owners, whomever, trust God in all that you do. Let Him be the navigation system for where you're going, because He's the only one that can direct your path. I've seen that happen with us. Gary, I'm telling you, this was non-existent. I went to school and received a degree in political science. My wife received a degree in nursing. My partner received his high school diploma. His wife received her associate degree. None of us majored in business. None of us majored in fashion design. But when the Lord spoke to my wife, we had to learn how to trust God. And we had to step out on faith when we didn't have the money, we didn't have all the knowledge that we have now. But when we look back at it now, we can see where God actually walked us through everything and connected us with the right people. And that's why, trust God and He'll direct your path.
Well, this is Gary Chambers, and I'm here with Will Bates at the Master's Touch. Will, what's the address?
3052 Monterey Drive, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 225-927-9589.
Gary Chambers, the Rouge Collection, signing off.